When I first decided to learn Arabic, I had no idea how much it would change my life. I knew that if I truly wanted to connect with Islam, I first needed to connect with the language of the Quran. I wanted to understand the words as they were revealed, not just read translations. I wanted to feel the depth, the emotion, the power behind every single ayah. I started as an absolute beginner. I did not even know the Arabic alphabet. I could not distinguish between letters. I could not pronounce basic letters like or properly. I felt lost and intimidated, but something inside me, my intention, my reason, kept pushing me forward. I remember sitting with my first Arabic notebook, staring at the letters, feeling overwhelmed. They looked like beautiful but confusing art. I questioned myself. I thought maybe I started too late. Maybe I would never reach fluency. But then I reminded myself that nothing worth having comes easily. Every expert was once a beginner. Every Hafiz was once learning Alif Ba Ta for the first time. So I made a decision. I would not quit. I created structure. I divided my learning into reading, writing, listening, and speaking. I started with the alphabet. I spent days just perfecting pronunciation. I watched videos of native Arabic teachers. I listened closely to their mouth movements. I repeated sounds again and again until my throat adjusted. It was uncomfortable at first, but growth always is. I practiced writing each letter isolated, then connected. I learned how letters change shape depending on their position in a word. I reviewed daily. I never skipped review because I knew memory fades without consistency. I used apps. I joined online courses. I watched YouTube lessons. I listened to Quran recitations slowly, pausing and repeating. I would play one ayah 5 times, 10 times, 15 times until the pronunciation felt closer. I did not care if I looked silly practicing alone in my room. I only cared about progress. I made mistakes constantly. I mispronounced words. I mixed grammar patterns. I forgot vocabulary I had learned the day before. There were moments of frustration where I closed my book and sighed deeply. But instead of quitting, I told myself this is part of the process. Mistakes are not failure. They are evidence of effort. I created a vocabulary journal. Every day I learned at least 5 words. Sometimes 10. I reviewed them in the evening. I used them in sentences. I placed sticky notes with Arabic words around my room so I could see them everywhere. I changed parts of my phone language to Arabic to expose myself more. I immersed myself as if I were preparing to live in an Arabic-speaking country. I listened to Islamic lectures in Arabic. At first I understood almost nothing. But I trained my ear. I took notes. I looked up unknown words. I refused to depend completely on translation. I wanted my brain and heart to adjust naturally. Slowly, I started recognizing words in the Quran. Words like, I remember the first time I read a short surah and understood its general meaning without looking at a translation. I almost cried. It felt like unlocking a door that had been closed. It felt like all his words were becoming closer, clearer, warmer. I joined online Arabic learning communities. I connected with other students. Some were ahead of me. Some were just starting. We shared resources, encouragement, and progress. Seeing others improve reminded me that growth is possible. I made sure to speak Arabic out loud, even if no one was listening. I described my day in broken Arabic. I recorded myself reading paragraphs and compared my pronunciation to native speakers. It was humbling but necessary. I practiced grammar steadily. I learned verb conjugations in past, present, and command forms. I studied root letters and how meanings connect. Understanding roots changed everything. Suddenly vocabulary was no longer random. It was connected, structured, logical. I started thinking in Arabic. Instead of translating in my head, I began understanding directly. I could follow Friday khutbahs online without constantly needing captions. I moved from A1 to A2 slowly. Then B1. When I reached B1, I felt proud, but I knew I was not done. I wanted depth. I wanted clarity. I wanted confidence. I increased my study time, reading longer articles, studying advanced grammar, practicing comprehension with unfamiliar texts. I read Islamic books written for native Arabic readers. I did not understand everything, but I understood more than before, and that motivated me. I made dua regularly, asking Allah for clarity, understanding, and steadfastness. I reminded myself that this journey was not just academic. It was spiritual. Every letter learned was an act of worship. Every effort was rewarded. My confidence grew. I could hold simple conversations. I could ask and answer questions. I could follow Islamic classes live without translation. When I officially reached B2 level, it felt unreal. From zero to understanding complex texts. From struggling with the alphabet to analyzing meaning in ayahs and hadith. The journey was not fast. It was not perfect. It was full of struggle and discipline. But it was worth it. Because Arabic did not just change how I studied Islam. It changed how I experienced it. When I read Quran now, I reflect deeply on word choices, grammar, structure, and emphasis. I feel layers of meaning I had never seen before. My prayer changed. My focus increased because I understood what I was reciting. Learning Arabic became part of my identity. It became a daily habit. I continue to refine my vocabulary. I continue to listen to lectures. I continue to read and write because learning never ends. My goal was never just fluency. My goal was connection. My goal was understanding all his words without a barrier. My goal was clarity in my deen. If you are watching this and you are at zero, know that I was there. If you feel overwhelmed, I did too. If you feel behind, remember that progress is slow but real. Start with the alphabet. Master pronunciation. Build vocabulary little by little. Review daily. Immerse yourself. Listen more than you speak. Speak without fear. Write without perfection. Make dua for patience and discipline. Never forget your why, because when your why is strong, your motivation returns again and again. This journey from zero to B2 was not just about language. It was about growth, discipline, identity, and faith. It proved to me that with consistency, intention, and trust in Allah, any goal can be reached. And I continue to walk this path, refining, learning, growing. Because Arabic is not just a language for me. It is a bridge to my faith, my heart, and my future.